Hello, everyone. So, before we get started, someone has a birthday today, so I want to hear a big cheer from all of you. Yay! So, it's not Sarah, it's not me, I don't know actually, but with 15,000 people, someone has to have a birthday. It's more just to let people in other rooms know that this is a great session, so that was it. All right. We know that organizations in every industry are looking to solve big challenges. They need to turn their groundbreaking ideas into reality. And they need to deliver innovative solutions at scale. Is anyone in the room grappling with this today? Yeah, it's a big challenge. And we need to have infrastructure that scales limitlessly and that delivers high performance at optimized costs. And we need it to support constant innovation. It's a lot to think about.
It really is, but help is at hand. In this session, we're going to show you new compute instances that will help you run high-performing applications at a lower cost. We're going to tell you how to power large-scale machine learning models and data analytics workloads. And GenAI has a huge part to play in all of this. And we're excited to announce new applications that are going to help you work more efficiently. I'm Sarah Johnson, a UK Enterprise Support Manager here at AWS.
And I'm Gunnar Grosch. I am a developer advocate here at AWS.
We're going to start with some context on types of applications that our customers are running today and how the way these applications has changed over the last few years so you can see the incredible evolution. And next, we're going to dive deeper into why organizations choose AWS to run their applications and how our infrastructure supports virtually any type of application. We're also going to share some customer examples that we hope will resonate with you, where companies are realizing greater efficiencies, better performance, and cost savings by running their applications on AWS. And lastly, really importantly, we're going to go over some next steps and resources to help you build and run your applications on AWS.
So, the cloud has enabled companies of all sizes to turn their innovative ideas into reality and really transform their own industries. And many things that were impossible in the traditional environments, they are now possible. So today, companies are running even their most complex and their most critical applications in the cloud and on AWS. All of that with confidence. So these companies are leveraging the agility, the flexibility, the efficiency, and the capabilities of the cloud to innovate at scale. And Sarah, walk us through some of the examples of customers that are using AWS to run demanding workloads.
Sure. I'm going to start with AstraZeneca. Everybody recognizes that name. And I'm sure you can think of the amazing innovations that they've delivered over the last few years. It's been truly game-changing. AstraZeneca uses AWS to accelerate identification and development of life-changing medications. WiskZero has developed the first ever autonomous electrical vehicle takeoff and landing aircraft. And it's kind of like a small electric aeroplane that takes off like a helicopter, like really amazing technology. And the company uses Amazon Web Services to build high-performance compute and to run simulations of those aircraft. Leonardo.ai is an Australian generative artificial intelligence company. And they create content and they create 4.5 million new images on AWS daily. And since launching in December 2022, Leonardo.ai's users have generated more than 700 million images and trained more than 400,000 custom generative AI models on the company's platform. We continue to solve tougher problems with AWS. Companies are able to tackle some really tough problems, including drug discovery and genomics, weather prediction models, insights on social media, and computational fluid dynamics using high-performance compute, or HPC. HPC workloads, they demand large-scale computations with massive amounts of data, storage, and high-speed networking that's distributed across large amounts of machines. The HPC users also need tools that are easy to use so that they can spend more time experimenting and less time on managing infrastructure. How's this all possible, Gunnar?
So, the advances in cloud computing that we've seen, and also in new application development approaches, they have made it possible. Just a few years ago, most applications, they were designed as these monolithic systems and often deployed in on-premises data centers. But the cloud provides you with on-demand access to virtually limitless infrastructure. So applications are today, they are increasingly designed as these modular microservices, making development more agile and iterative. And you can just create your own virtual infrastructure with basically just a few clicks today. And with technology like containers and serverless computing, you can quickly build modern, scalable applications that reduce your total cost of ownership. So this agility, scalability, and efficiency, it has motivated a lot of companies to run their applications in the cloud.
When it comes to the cloud infrastructure supporting these applications, business leaders and decision makers have some top considerations. We've consistently heard from our customers that security and reliability is their highest priority. More and more companies are looking to their cloud provider to offer built-in security so that they can focus on their applications. Maintaining security and compliance, preventing inadvertent access to your company's sensitive data is also top of mind for most business leaders. Also, building, running, and scaling those applications without interruptions is crucial for any business because poor performance, latency, or any downtime can really impact your business. And as businesses grow, applications supporting the business should be able to scale effortlessly. It's also crucial that these applications have high performance to deliver the best customer experience. Business leaders are looking to lower costs and do more with less. They need higher performance so they can meet SLAs and drive business growth at the same time as managing costs. And as business priorities shift, the needs of applications powering the business also change. To stay competitive, companies should have access to the latest technology to improve their applications and deliver new solutions. It's also critical to enable your developers to be most productive in building those applications. Many business leaders are looking for solutions that support the needs of the applications they're building today, as well as the ones you're going to build in the future. Now, when we ask business leaders why they choose AWS to run their applications, we get a lot of different answers, and that's because organizations run a lot of different types of workloads. And today we're going to focus on the key reasons that customers tell us why AWS is the best place to build and run your applications securely wherever you need them. First, AWS is designed to be the most secure and reliable cloud, so you build and run your applications with confidence. Second, AWS delivers the best performance and price performance to efficiently run your applications. And third, AWS is continually innovating to support your current and your future needs. We're constantly innovating so that our customers can innovate without limits. So over to Gunnar to dive deeper into the first area.
So security is definitely one of my favorite areas. And building a secure and reliable application, it requires careful considerations across many different areas. So you need to ensure that the underlying infrastructure is secure. You need to ensure that your application data is always protected. And you also need to ensure that the data transfers are safe. So organizations that are handling sensitive data like personally identifiable information or digital assets like cryptocurrency or perhaps financial information, they have stringent privacy and confidentiality requirements, and they must follow those. So one way that we address different organizations' need for confidential computing is through the AWS Nitro system. It is the foundation of our modern compute platform. And the AWS Nitro system, it offers built-in security features to help protect both the hardware and the software against potential security threats. And one of the key capabilities of AWS Nitro is AWS Nitro Enclaves. It's a feature within Amazon EC2 that allows you to create isolated compute environments that then further protects and securely processes this highly sensitive data. And if you want to see if our security assurances are confirmed and affirmed, well, then you can scan the QR code that's on screen right now. And that will bring you to a report written by the NCC Group. It is a leading cybersecurity firm. And they conducted an independent architecture review of the Nitro system and the security assurances that we make. And yes, they have affirmed those claims. And they've validated the Nitro system's security design.
So Gunnar talked about the built-in security with the Nitro system and how it helps protect data. We also ensure that applications stored in our storage services are always protected. So starting with identity and access management, or IAM. With our simple storage solution, Amazon S3, I'm sure you've all heard of that service. It was the first service that we launched back in 2006, and it stores large amounts of objects like files, documents, videos. We offer the ability to block public access to all those buckets, to all those objects at the bucket or the account level. All newly created buckets in the region now have block public access. That means all public access is blocked by default. And with Amazon Elastic File System, which is another one of our storage services, think file shares on your servers, customers can use IAM policies to manage access to that file system data, giving them the flexibility to manage multi-tenant environments in a cloud-native way. And across our entire storage portfolio, we offer encryption for data in transit and data at rest. Last year, we announced that S3 will encrypt all new objects by default. And this puts another security best practice into effect automatically, with no impact on performance and no action required by users. We also offer extensive auditing and monitoring to help move towards real-time auditing and response. As an example, we offer Amazon S3 Lens to provide organization-wide visibility into your object storage. And it makes it easy for you to understand your S3 storage usage and your activity trends. You can see things like who's accessed what data, performance statistics, and how to optimize costs. And last year, we added 34 new metrics, including new metrics on access control. And those Lens metrics are integrated into CloudWatch, so you can view metrics in your CloudWatch dashboards. And building on this security foundation, we deliver data resiliency capabilities for business-critical applications, so you can meet those aggressive recovery point objectives and recovery time objectives. RPO and RTO. RPO being how much data loss your application can tolerate, and RTO being how quickly your application needs to be available again for your users. So whether you're just getting started on AWS, or if you're looking to migrate enterprise applications, or if you're already building on AWS, we've got resources to deliver data resiliency to address data events. You can implement a quick rollback with file and object versioning, or with replications. You can also address data recovery needs with AWS Backup to simplify backup and recovery with a fully managed policy-based service. You can also back up the data in your Amazon EBS volumes to Amazon S3 using point-in-time snapshots. We also offer a managed disaster recovery service with AWS Elastic Disaster Recovery. And that helps organizations recover their on-premises applications onto AWS, as well as recover cloud-based applications across AWS regions. We continue to innovate our storage capabilities to better serve our customers. To deliver high performance and low latency to your applications, we introduced Amazon S3 Express One Zone at reInvent 2023. Amazon S3 Express One Zone is a new S3 storage class built to deliver the highest performance and the lowest latency cloud object storage for the really frequently accessed data. S3 Express One Zone uses purpose-built hardware and software to accelerate data processing. And it also gives you the option to choose your availability zone so you can bring your frequently accessed data next to your high-performance compute resources to minimize latency. And S3 Express One Zone supports millions of requests per minute and is 10 times faster than our S3 standard storage. And that faster data processing lets you save up to 60% in compute costs for workloads that require high-performance analytics. So think about those in-memory caches and high-performance databases. And that means that your data access costs are also 50% lower than with S3 standard. So you can run these workloads at a much lower total cost.
So I talked about security as being one of my favorite areas, but beyond security and reliability, performance and cost are critical considerations for any business leader. And this is perhaps my real favorite area. So decision makers and applications owners out there, they need infrastructure that can deliver the performance that the business needs and requires to be able to meet different service level agreements or perhaps to fuel growth in the business. But at the same time, they need to make sure that their infrastructure choices will keep powering innovation while managing the cost. So at AWS, we want to help you get the best performance and value from your infrastructure in a few key ways. First, we work hard to deliver the highest levels of performance. So apps can scale up easily, that they can run faster, and that they can operate more efficiently. Secondly, we're constantly innovating. So be able to offer that top-notch performance, but also to do that at a lower and lower cost. And thirdly, we want to provide you with the tools and resources so you can further optimize your costs with your workloads. So I'm going to start by taking a closer look at the performance gains that you as a customer can achieve with the Nitro system. So I talked about the security benefits of the Nitro system, but the primary driver for actually creating the Nitro system was actually performance. So back in 2012, the team started thinking about ways that we could make the AWS Cloud more efficient, since a lot of the CPU power was being used for virtualization and for I/O. And the idea was basically to host a hypervisor, to offload management overhead, and then offer bare metal instances without sacrificing security. So back in 2013, we started working with a company called Annapurna Labs to develop the early versions of what is now the Nitro system. It's a combination of dedicated hardware and a lightweight hypervisor. And it enables faster innovation, and it also enables enhanced security, like I talked about. And the key benefit with the Nitro system is that it is delivering practically all of the hardware resources from the underlying host hardware directly to the instances. And that, for you, well, it results in better performance. So over the years, we've introduced 5 different generations of the Nitro system. And each of them, well, they are obviously building on the previous ones to deliver lower latency, to give you higher throughput, and the ability to handle more packets per second. And customers, well, they've continued to take advantage of these performance improvements. And to date, we've shipped more than 20 million Nitro chips. But the goal isn't just to deliver the best performance. It is, like I said, to deliver the best performance at the lowest costs. And by now, we have many years of experience in building custom silicon. So just like with the Nitro system, we saw an opportunity to deliver great price performance by applying that expertise into building our own processors. And that is how the AWS Graviton processors were born. They are custom designed to provide the best price performance for a wide variety of applications running on AWS. And today we have over 100 Graviton-based EC2 instance types across our portfolio. And it gives you, as a customer, the right balance of compute, memory, and storage, so you can get that perfect price performance for your app. And today, we're on our 4th generation of Graviton CPUs. So with over 100 Graviton-based instance types available, like I said. And with each generation, we've been able to constantly innovate. And we've been able to deliver even more value for you as a customer. So I think the numbers here speak for themselves. We've built today more than 2 million Graviton processors that are running out there. And we have more than 50,000 customers that are using Graviton today. And that includes the top 100 Amazon EC2 customers. So Sarah, I know you are eager to get into your favorite release from AWS re:Invent.
Exactly. Thank you, Gunnar. So where has all that constant innovation led us to? Well, at re:Invent 2023, we announced Graviton 4. And Graviton 4 is the most powerful and energy-efficient chip we have ever built. And when it comes to silicon design, we find ourselves taking a very unique approach. Each Graviton 4 CPU has 50% more cores and 2 times the L2 cache compared to our previous generation, Graviton 3. Graviton 4 is also the first processor we built that adds support for multi-socket coherency. Graviton 4 will enable instances to scale up to 3 times more CPU and 3 times more memory compared to the previous generation, so that they can support your highest performance databases, in-memory caches, and big data analytics workloads. And also at re:Invent 2023, we announced the preview of the new R8G Amazon EC2 instance that is based on Graviton 4. And R8G delivers the best price performance and energy efficiency of any EC2 instance we've ever built. With up to 30% more compute performance and the fastest DDR5 memory we have ever deployed, R8G offers unparalleled performance and efficiency for your most demanding, memory-intensive workloads. So you can sign up for the preview to test out Graviton 4 for your workloads today. And customers are realizing huge performance gains with Graviton. Last year, we announced that SAP HANA Cloud is now running on Graviton 3. And SAP has actually seen up to 30% better performance and 50% higher memory bandwidth for their analytical workloads. And as a signatory of Amazon's climate pledge, SAP is also working with 427 organizations across 38 countries to help reduce carbon emissions and ultimately help our environment. So by choosing to run SAP HANA Cloud on Graviton, SAP has been able to reduce its carbon footprint by 45%. Now that's impressive. And another one of our customers, Tufts Medicine, is a leading integrated health system that brings together the best of academic and community healthcare to deliver exceptional, connected, and accessible care experiences for consumers across Massachusetts in the US. They've consolidated over 30 electronic records into AWS and are working to transition all their on-premises data centers into AWS. And by moving from our M5N instances to the new 7th generation Intel-based instances, Tufts was able to triple their user session density per instance and increase performance by 68%. And Tufts estimates that that will save them $1.2 million annually, while providing significant performance improvements and delivering a better experience to hard-working medical professionals. And speaking of savings, who here wants to pay less for their compute?
Now we want you all to raise your hands. We've seen how our custom design processors and chips have delivered huge performance gains and cost savings for customers. And another area where we've been a pioneer is with serverless computing. It is helping customers scale easily and to reduce their costs. So many customers are running their workloads on our serverless services so they can build, run, and scale applications without worrying about servers. And these services, they then eliminate that infrastructure management tasks like capacity provisioning or patching. So you, as a customer, you can focus just on writing your code. And serverless, well, it starts with AWS Lambda. That's our event-driven compute service. It's natively integrated with over 200 AWS services and SaaS applications. And our other serverless offerings, well, they automate high-performance scaling and reduce operational overhead. So customers can redirect their resources to high-impact projects and lower their total cost of ownership. So I'm going to share an example. CyberGRX, they are a third-party risk management provider. They wanted to improve their machine learning modeling. It processes data from hundreds of thousands of customers and companies quarterly. And their legacy solution, well, it took them up to 8 days and required 4 engineers just to manage. So they also wanted to reduce their hardware costs. So to address this, CyberGRX, they chose to build a solution on AWS, and they are using AWS Step Functions. It's like a visual workflow service. And they were able to then reduce the runtime from those 8 days down to just 1 hour for their quarterly modeling. And they also improved the staff's productivity, and they cut the hardware cost by 90%. And the key for them was to use functionality in Step Functions called distributed map. And that's a feature where you're able to parse and distribute the data correctly. And they were able to then scale up their use of AWS Lambda in the background up to running 10,000 concurrent processes for that data. And in the future, they are going to split their data and run 2 distributed maps concurrently, meaning that they can take advantage of AWS Lambda's 20,000 parallel compute capacity. So this scalability, it has helped CyberGRX in their business growth. Their legacy machine learning modeling for the 150,000 customers, like I said, it took them 8 days. And now using AWS Serverless, they are modeling data for 260,000 customers in just 1 hour. And for them, that's 75 billion data calculations. And it's condensed into a smaller output for their customers. And for data-intensive applications, some customers are using our managed Kubernetes offering, Amazon EKS, where they are then improving agility, they are improving scalability, and they're improving their portability. So we can take the example of Lacework. They are a cloud security platform that wanted to automate their data processing to be able to deliver insights. So they were dealing with very fluctuating workloads. Like, for instance, they were using machine learning and anomaly detecting. So they needed to have a solution that was scalable and that was cost efficient for them. So by using Amazon EKS, Lacework were able to dynamically adjust the resource allocation for those tasks, machine learning and anomaly detection. So this ensured that they could efficiently process these large data volumes while optimizing cost and while optimizing performance. And EKS, with its scalability, combined with the ability to take advantage of spot instances in Amazon EC2, they could further enhance the way that Lacework were able to adapt to these changing workload demands. I think Lacework is a great example of how the managed Kubernetes offering can help customers optimize their infrastructure for the specific unique needs of their workload. And then, as we continue to drive that best price performance with Graviton, we thought, why not bring these same benefits to companies that are running machine learning workloads on AWS? So machine learning and generative AI, well, that's topics that we hear a lot about today. And it is powering all kinds of breakthroughs today. Everything from self-driving cars to assistants to recommendation engines and image recognition. Everything from enterprises through startups, they are in every industry using this fast evolving tech to solve problems in new and different ways. So when it comes to machine learning, there are basically two main types of workloads that we see. The first is training. That is where you are creating new machine learning models. The second one, that is what's called inference. This is where you're using that model to then generate different types of predictions. So every year, over 30,000 customers are using Amazon EC2 infrastructure to build, train, and deploy machine learning applications on AWS.
And at Amazon, we've been implementing machine learning in production for more than 20 years. AWS offers customers the most performant ML infrastructure available in the cloud for training and inferencing their ML workloads. In fact, every year, as Gunnar said, over 30,000 customers build, train, and deploy their machine learning applications using our Amazon EC2 infrastructure. And many of those customers are scaling machine learning workloads to more than 10,000 GPUs. As they push the boundaries of deep learning and generative AI, they're training and deploying increasingly sophisticated models. And just 3 years ago, a large ML model would have been millions of parameters in size. And today, we actually see models that are hundreds of billions of parameters and quickly closing in on 1 trillion. And those numbers are like impossible to comprehend. Last year, we launched EC2 P5 instances, powered by NVIDIA H100 Tensor Core GPUs. These instances are designed for training and deploying complex large language models and diffusion models, powering the most demanding generative AI applications. And our P5 instances accelerate your time to solution by up to 4 times compared with the previous generation, reducing the cost to train your ML workloads by up to 40%. So next, Gunnar's going to dive into some of our new GPU-based instances.
I say once again that this is probably my favorite section. So as machine learning becomes more mainstream, more and more companies is looking to use it in different ways to improve their operations or perhaps to provide better experience for their customers. And like Sarah said, the models that companies were using, they are getting bigger and more complex. Just a few years ago, millions of parameters in the models, and today we're talking hundreds of billions and even up to trillions of parameters in these machine learning models. And we've been watching these trends in machine learning very closely at AWS, and we realized that customers could benefit from a powerful yet cost-efficient alternative to handling these growing workloads. So we've talked about our over a decade of experience in designing and building our own processors like the AWS Graviton, we believe that we can apply these same expertise and learnings to create innovative silicon that is specifically optimized to machine learning workloads. So we started developing chips for machine learning workloads more than 5 years ago today. A big milestone for us, it was the launch of the AWS Trainium-based instances last year. And with Trainium, we reduced the cost to train models by up to 50% compared to other EC2 instances. And as the number of parameters in AI models continue to skyrocket, we followed that up by launching a new variant of the Trainium instances that now has 1,600 gigabits per second of networking. It's fast. It is optimized specifically for large-scale distributed training. In fact, we actually now have clusters that are available for you to use that have up to 64,000 Trainium accelerators. They are all interconnected with our elastic fabric adapter, so it provides you with a non-blocking terabit scale network. We didn't stop there though. We at Reinvent took things even further by announcing our next generation of AWS Trainium 2 accelerators. So these Trainium 2 based instances, they are going to be up to 4 times faster than the previous generation. And that means we're talking about an eye-watering 65 exaflops of supercomputing capacity. I don't know what that number means, but to put it in perspective, it's roughly 5 times more performance than the world's largest supercomputer. Let that sink in. That is something that is available for you to use. So these new Trainium 2 instances, they are specifically optimized for training large-scale generative AI models with hundreds of billions or even trillions of parameters. And what's really exciting with Trainium 2 is that it will deliver this incredible performance while still giving you a seamless experience. You can continue using standard frameworks like PyTorch or TensorFlow, and we even have support for JAX coming up. But these foundation models, when they then get deployed at scale, there will be more costs associated with running that second part, the inference part of machine learning. So these predictions, when someone is asking the model something, they need to happen in near real time, and that requires ultra low latency and very high throughput networking. So recently, we announced the general availability of our Inf2 instances. They are powered by the new AWS Inferentia 2 chip, and these are specifically optimized for large-scale generative AI applications. Remember, the models that contains hundreds of billions or even up to trillions of parameters. So these Inf2 instances, they offer up to 4 times higher throughput and up to 10 times lower latency compared to the previous generation. So that translates up to 40% better price performance compared to other EC2 instances. So we are really continuing our journey to offer you the most capabilities and the cutting-edge technology so you can support your unique machine learning workloads, whether it's training or it's inference, and all of that at scale.
And all of this helps us to deliver performance and enhance security, and it fuels our innovation. That innovation is just part of the continuous innovation that allows us to offer the broadest and deepest capabilities to our customers. We provide the most capabilities so you have access to whatever you need to build all the applications you can imagine. And I'm sure you've heard that AWS, we are customer obsessed. In fact, it's one of our leadership principles, and it is really baked into our DNA. And with that comes a deep understanding that no two customers are the same. We know with conviction that customers care deeply about selecting the cloud provider with the broadest and deepest set of capabilities for their applications. And we're constantly thinking of ways to invent on behalf of our customers. And since our start in 2006, we've been continually expanding our services to support virtually any application, with more than 200 fully featured services for analytics, machine learning, Internet of Things, and loads more. For compute, we have the most compute instances to meet the needs of your workload. For networking, AWS has the most secure and reliable network, as well as the greatest capacity network. And for storage, AWS offers the industry's broadest choices of storage services and functionality. And for our modern applications, as Gunnar talked about, AWS pioneered serverless computing. And we've got the broadest range of serverless services, allowing customers to offload more of that operational overhead. And AWS is also the most trusted way to run Kubernetes, with more Kubernetes containerized workloads than any other cloud provider. And when we look further at compute, we now have over 750 instances, which is more than any other cloud provider, each one providing you with a choice of processor, storage, networking, and operating system, so you can find the fit that suits your needs. And with over 16 years of collaboration and innovation with Intel, we've delivered over 400 Intel-based instances, supporting a broad range of workloads. AWS was the first cloud to launch AMD processors and Mac-based instances. And in fact, we're the only major cloud provider to provide those on-demand macOS-based instances. And that's lifted the limitations for developers and allowed them to build, test, and sign Apple apps on Amazon EC2. AWS provides you with the broadest and deepest choices of instances to precisely meet your needs.
So in addition to the choice of instances to build your own application, we're also offering applications that are powered by generative AI, leveraging those advanced foundation models. So one great example is Amazon Q, a new type of generative AI-powered assistant. It is designed specifically to work for you and for your business. Amazon Q lets you get answers quickly through natural language interactions. So you can chat, you can generate content, and you can take actions, all informed by an understanding of your systems, your data repositories, and your operations. And of course, we know how important rock-solid security and privacy are for all customers. So Amazon Q can understand and it can respect your existing identities, roles, and permissions. So if a user doesn't have access to do something without Q, well, they can't do that with Q either. In fact, we've designed Amazon Q from the ground up to meet the stringent requirements from enterprise. So we never want to use, or we don't ever use any of your data when we are training the underlying models. And then for EC2 customers, well, Sarah talked about the 750 different instance types available for you. Well, we made instance selection much easier with Amazon Q. We introduced a new generative AI-powered service called Amazon EC2 Instance Finder right in the EC2 console. So it helps you to quickly identify the most accurate and the most cost-effective instance type for your specific workload. And this is all part of the launch process. So instead of manually researching and comparing options, Amazon Q and Instance Finder can guide you to the best fit. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of instance selection. And in addition to Amazon Q, we're building other generative AI services to help customers build applications faster, more efficiently, and with greater security. This is where my personal favorite comes in, Amazon Code Whisperer. It allows you to generate code as a developer, so it can accelerate the application development process, and it frees up time for developers. So developers can focus on the more critical, business-impacting problems that they couldn't get to before. And this creates more time for them to imagine and build new experiences instead. In a recent productivity challenge, participants who used Amazon Code Whisperer were 27% more likely to complete tasks successfully, and they did so at 57% faster on average compared to the ones who didn't use Code Whisperer.
We continue to drive our mission to be the best cloud for virtually any type of application by delivering on these values. The Nitro system underpins the security and reliability of our compute, and the built-in security features across our services allow you to build applications with confidence. And our constant innovation, that delivers the best performance and value across EC2 instances, storage, and more. And this innovation delivers new services that are changing the way you build and run your applications, with GenAI services like Amazon Q, Code Whisperer, and Bedrock. And with these capabilities, our customers like Moderna, Boom, and John Deere are developing innovations on AWS that are changing the world. And who wants to enable their business to adopt these innovative capabilities and build those game-changing applications? Well, we've got our digital training platform, Skill Builder, that will help you to do that. You can learn on demand. We've got hundreds of courses across security, data development, ML, and lots more. There's also labs that allow you to practice in a secure environment without unexpected fees, and that's my favorite part of Skill Builder, and I'm sure your teams will love it too. And we've also got instructor-led classroom training if that meets the needs of your company, where you can work together with a trainer on strategies and solutions. And then our AWS certifications, they're industry-recognized credentials that validate your knowledge and your expertise. Know who can lead on mission-critical projects and who can support during times of disruption. Plus, those AWS certifications demand some of the highest salaries in IT. And individuals whose employers cover their exam fees are easier to retain and more loyal. So check out our Skill Builder by taking up the 7-day free trial. That's everything from us. Thank you very much for listening.
And we've talked about how you can leverage the security, the performance, and the continuous innovation of AWS to build your game-changing applications. My name is Gunnar Grosch.
I'm Sarah Johnson.
Thank you all for joining.